And we know this sticks. Decal's Eye in the Sky is turned into just Eye in the Sky because
we're a podcast. It's Andrew and Declan, not just me, not just you, but we're together. Mm-hmm. And yeah, exactly. And kind of stole your thunder there. Keep going.
No, dude, that was perfect because that transitions me right into our first Eye in the Sky because we're floating above, making sure everything's even keel, seeing what's out there. Maybe something new, maybe something that we've seen in the past. But
Century Acuity.
Century Acuity. We've seen it, but we didn't really see it well. We didn't see it fully. The first one would be two small brains combined. I mean, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. One really smart guy, like an Einstein, or let's say Steve Jobs, Bill Goodhue, one of those kind of guys. One really big brain and directed and motivated is phenomenal. Those guys come around, once a decade. But when you got two average guys, if you combine the heads, it equals one of those. Mm-hmm. So Andrew and I, going back to our conversation in the car for an hour, we were like, man, if we put two heads together in this and we work together, we can accomplish something great. Because, two small brains is just better than one.
Absolutely. And you know who has a pretty great brain?
Who's that?
I think Rob Lawless.
Absolutely. So the importance of connections. That is something that I learned, or that I was aware of this week, listening to the Purpose in Youth podcast by Bob A. If you want to go check that out, we're giving him a shout out this week. Purpose in Youth, you can find them on iTunes, you can find them on Spotify. They are a podcast, again, very similar to us, and it's all about showing the purpose in people's lives. And Bob A. is a guy who graduated a couple years ago in Boston. Graduated, didn't really know what he was going to do, moved out to L.A. He's been there ever since. He's a full-time Uber driver and a podcaster and just loves to connect with people, loves to show the purpose in what people are doing. And doesn't have to be, the biggest or the most important people are well known, but everyone's got a passion that they're trying to follow, and he brings that out in the Purpose in Youth podcast. But again, Rob Lawless, really cool dude, talking about how he quit his job. Rob Lawless quit his job at Deloitte, had to pay him $5,000 back, and then
because he left before a year. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Before a year, and he had a goal to meet 10,000 people for an hour at a time.
Mm-hmm. And it's still going on,
And
right?
it's still going on. Yeah, he's like almost at 2,000, and he's just crunching, dude. It's amazing what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, that gives us a really cool eye in the sky right there. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the importance of connections. I mean, for us in our life right now, if we can understand that early and take that on to just our daily routine of being willing and being open and ready and looking and seeking the opportunities to sit down with other people. It doesn't need to be for an hour. It doesn't need to be anything significant. We don't need to be talking about jobs or anything, but just literally sitting down and talking outside of the podcast in more of a less formal setting. Even this podcast is less formal, but still sitting down, grabbing a piece of pizza or a cup of coffee. I mean, we got told that numerous times throughout our college career. However, I don't even think those people were doing it, and I don't even think anyone actually listened to their advice. The actual doing of sitting down and having those connections is, would you say, just people aren't taking advantage of that?
Yeah, I would say it's completely undervalued right now, just the value of in-person networking and in-person just conversation. Being able to just take that time for an hour to sit down with someone and, not have a goal in mind, just talk to them. And that's exactly what Rob's doing, and I think we've done a really good job of that. The podcast, the platform that we've had, allows us to perform in that way. But we've also met and ran into a lot of cool people like Phil Zhao, whose company is literally based behind that idea of networking, getting mentors to help you out. But at the end of the day, you're just sitting down having coffee with the guy. Or you're sitting down and going to grab a beer on a Thursday. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter because the value. And that's the thing that Rob was saying is like our culture right now does not value those just networking and in-person connections and just the value of sitting down and talking to someone.
Yep.
And I think that is something that we can really grasp and, show on this podcast, but also, monetize and use ourselves.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So check out Rob Lawless. I mean, follow him on Instagram because he's hilarious, under Bob A. And
Bob A's funny, yeah, but also, yeah, Rob Take 10K Friends, if you go look at him, he posts a story about every single one. And it shows, like, you know, what we try to do. Everyone has a story, we tell it, but more so just the idea that everyone's is a motivator, influencer, and an entrepreneur, or has those qualities. And Rob really brings that out because he'll post the picture with him, and then he'll write the story about him. And everyone's story is different. Everyone's got their own passion that they're following. It's really cool to just see it. It makes you feel good, honestly.
Right on. So far with the Eye in the Sky, we got the importance of connections. We got two brains combined, better than
one.
Better than one, absolutely. And then one other thing that I noticed throughout this car trip that I took down here, the Southern manners. I mean, when you just even at fast food joints and everything like that, they're just on a whole new level. They are so nice and genuine. And at least it feels like they're genuine. They don't even need to be genuine, but their manners and their verbiage that they're using, it warms my heart.
Wow. So service goes a long way.
Yes.
If you can tailor yourself to where you are naturally being that genuine, when you probably aren't, because, you know, if you're at the Waffle House and you get a waiter or a waitress and, like, she's super nice to you, well, she also has to be that same way to, like, 50 other people, and I guarantee you that it's not as genuine as you might think it is, but she has trained herself to be that way, and I think the South really brings that out in people. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's also not forget, in addition to Southern manners, the importance of our business cards. So we we'll hand out our business cards when we talk to someone about the podcast. But again, we're not really trying to talk about the podcast. We're not trying to force the conversation. Put it that way. If someone wants to talk podcast, you know what? Balls in my court. I'm gonna go talk podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it.
We're not gonna say no. Mm-hmm. But, you know, leaving your business card somewhere as a nice advertisement and brand awareness is a great thing. And one of those spots was, at the stall in a bathroom, where you're taking a piss at the urinal, and you look up right in front of you, and it's like, oh my God, Declan Brown from the Backpocket. We tried this out last night, and it was pretty successful, I'd say.
I'd say it was a huge success. We just placed it. There's a little shelf right above the urinal, and we put both our business cards. So each urinal had a business card, and we think it brought a lot more awareness. We're waiting to hear back from anyone that.
Our downloads are up.
Our downloads are up, so I think it's a hit.
I think it was a hit. I actually went in a second time after I put my business card in there, and my business card was gone. And I was like, what happened? So I was looking around the floor, thinking, what could this possibly be? But I think someone took it, so that might be a good thing.
Okay.
So then I put another one up there.
Nice.
So we're good to go. But the importance of connections, business cards, Southern manners, and two brains are better than one. Mm-hmm. A lot of things we're seeing this week on our Eye in the Sky. Good stuff. Any others?
I think that's everything.
Okay.
So, trapping the puck, we realized that Instagram has a great platform to reaching out, and all social medias really have a great platform to reaching out to other people, and we've really utilized this in the past few podcasts. As you've seen, we've done a lot of FaceTime, Skype interviews, and this time around, we had Jonny Stofko. We just reached out to him on social media because he has a phenomenal following, and we're like, this would be a really cool guest to have on. He's got a great story. He really fits our mantra, and it ended up being probably one of the more motivating podcasts that we've done from start to finish.